Well, hi there. So in this problem set, we're going to do a little bit of practice related to appreciation and depreciation, and then we're going to see the four shifters of foreign exchange in action. So let's get started. Okay, so the first problem and the second one are really just, can you use numbers to determine whether a currency appreciates or depreciates? If $1 buys a yen this month and next month it buys two, then that means that the dollar must have appreciated because it bought more than it used to. At the same time, we could also say that the yen depreciated, but that's not what the question we're asked. Number two, if 5 yen buys $1 this month and $2 next month, then that actually means that the dollar depreciated. That's because the yen is able to buy more dollars than they used to be able to buy. So that means the dollars got cheaper or went down in price. If $1 equals 50 yen, how much is an American shirt in yen if it costs $12? So these are kind of one style of problem. This is another. This is just making a conversion. So we would take this $12 and say 12 times 50 is 600 yen. These type of problems are not super common, 1 through 3, but they do show up occasionally on tests. So hopefully they're not too bad for you. 4, 5, 6, and 7 are about the shifters of foreign exchange. And so each one is about one of those different shifters: tastes, income, price levels, or interest rates. So the first one, Americans receive a tax cut and have larger incomes, right? And so if they have larger incomes, then American households are going to buy more from Japan. If we want to buy more from Japan, then we need more yen to do that. And so we have to supply more of our own currency. If we demand more yen, then the yen is going to go up in price. And if we have to supply more of our dollars, then the dollar will depreciate and go down in price. If Japan has a large budget deficit that makes the interest rates go up, well, that's going to make capital flow increase to Japan. In other words, the supply of loanable funds will increase in Japan as people begin to move their money over to Japan. They go, oh, gee, I really want to earn that higher rate of interest, and so I'm going to move my money over there. But in order to actually move your money into the Japanese loanable funds market, you need Japanese yen. You can't lend the Japanese government money in dollars. You have to lend them yen. So the demand for the yen would rise, and that would cause the yen to appreciate. That would also mean the dollar supply has to increase, and so the dollar would depreciate. Part of the questions I often get are like, why does the supply change when the demand changes? Well, in order to buy those yen, the Americans have to provide more of their dollars to that foreign exchange market, to that kiosk in the airport. Oh, I need some yen. Well, you have to pay for those yen by supplying more dollars. Number 6, if prices are rising faster in Japan than the United States, well, Americans are going to buy less from Japan. And as a result, they don't need as many yen. Right? So we would say the demand for the yen will decrease. The demand for the yen falls because we don't need to buy as many because we're not buying as much stuff. And as a result, the yen will depreciate. Now, the tricky part is what happens to the dollar. Well, if we aren't buying as many yen, then the supply of the US dollar is going to decrease. We're not going to provide as many dollars into that foreign exchange market, into that airport kiosk. I'm not walking up and buying as many yen, so I'm not supplying as many yen into the market, as many dollars into the market. As a result of not supplying as many, the dollar will appreciate while the yen will depreciate because of the lower demand for it. For number 7, if Japan puts a high tariff on American goods, well, then Japan's purchase of US goods will go down. Right? Kind of a way to read that is to say, well, they're going to buy less of our stuff as a result. And if they don't need to buy our stuff, then they don't need to buy our currency. So we would say the demand for US dollars will decrease and the supply of yen will decrease because they don't need to supply as many yen when they aren't buying as much American products. So we would say that the dollar would depreciate and the yen would appreciate as a result of the supply decreasing for the yen and the demand decreasing for the dollar. And it asks us to draw that graph and show that effect. So we'll do that here. We'll put dollars, I'll put them on the right, and I'll put yen over here. And just remember the bottom matches the bottom, right? So I'm matching the bottom of the fraction with the bottom of the graph, and then the price is in the other currency. So this is the yen market, this is the US dollar market, and we'll have supply and demand, and we just have plain old supply and demand. And we already said the Japan placed a high tariff on American goods, so they're not going to demand as many dollars. So we have a decrease in demand for dollars, and we have a decrease in the supply of yen. And the effect of that is to make the dollar go down in price, right? Because it's a lower price of the dollar, and to make the yen go up in price as a result. So hopefully this helped you understanding how these shifters kind of play out in an example problem. The extra practice has also got a couple of really good example problems for this. I'll see you next time.